This is The Launch, episode 24 for June 10th, 2025. Streaming from the beautiful Pacific Northwest and the mighty American West Coast, we greet you all a good morning, a good evening, or whenever your timeline may fall. Time-appropriate greetings indeed to one and all. This is The Launch, and my name is Chris.
And I'm Angela.
And my name is Brent.
Hello, you two. Big show coming up. A lot's been going on since we gathered together. Secret clubs, restoring farms, adventures galore, and voicemails blowing up our inbox. So just a few details. We'd love it if you called us. The phone number is 774-462-5667. You can call during the show or after the show and leave a voicemail, 774-462-567. 2 sixes. And you can join us live. Check out the time at jupiterbroadcasting.com/calendar or in your podcasting 2.0 app. Join us in the Mumble Room, in the Matrix. And of course, check out our links at weeklylaunch.rocks. All of that is there for your perusal, your approval, and your consumption. And of course, if you can't join us live, the show comes out on Wednesdays in the mornings after our lovely editor, Drew, is all done with it. And you can catch it that way whenever you want with your podcast client. Andrews.
Yes.
I hear you're joining secret exclusive clubs or considering it.
Maybe. Yes, right? I was just going to say, I am considering.
Yeah. I have a hint before you give it away.
It's about cats, right?
No, it's not a cat club. It's not a pet club.
What?
It's more maybe like a kid club. If you get my drift, you see where I'm going with this?
Okay, I don't know if everybody's connecting because
I'm connected. I'm connected real good, right? How you? Yeah.
I'm warming up.
Go, Brent.
Yeah, he's dancing.
Yeah, he is. The dogs aren't dancing, but Brent is. All right, Andrews.
Okay.
What are you thinking about?
So school's out next week for our kids, right? And I know there's going to be a handful of people that are like, oh my gosh, we've been out for a month already. Okay, cool.
Lucky you.
Yeah, we start after Labor Day. So I think it's Labor Day. Yeah.
We have a different Labor Day, so if you're Canadian, it's very confusing.
Right, yeah. So we end late. And it's actually really stupid because we had a snow day, like one snow day. And it pushed the last day of school to after Juneteenth. So they go to school Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday next week. And then Thursday they stay home. And then Friday they go for the last day of school, which is a half day on
okay.
it. Yeah,
Dumb.
it is
So no one's
stupid.
showing up,
And
basically?
right? It's happened for like the last 3 years. Well, since they made Juneteenth a federal holiday, right?
This is what we get for having snow.
Yeah, right.
Or holiday.
Right. Okay, so they're going to be home, the kids, of course. They're going to be home, and they're going to need stuff to do. And currently, they have a trampoline park nearby, and I pay monthly membership for all 3 kids, and Dylan's the only one that uses it. But that makes it worth it to pay for all 3 of them, right? Just for Dylan to go. But I am considering a YMCA membership, and there are other options, of course, too. Planet Fitness has free memberships for any students aged like 12 and up, which would work after July when Bella turns 12. But Dylan doesn't want to go there, and it's too far for them to walk. They could literally walk to this YMCA. So yeah, I'm considering that and trying to figure out what a good routine would be. And I'm curious what the members' experiences are with memberships and stuff, because I'm looking at this. It's going to be like $160 a month.
It's like, what do you do? Like building a routine for summer, right? Because routine just sort of collapses all of a sudden when summer starts.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm hoping to start strong with this, and I can use it too. I mean, obviously, but
Hopefully.
Well, because I break out in hives with exertion, right? So, but
Is it multi-location?
Oh.
So yeah, there's a couple benefits that I see with the YMCA. One is that it's unlimited guest passes.
Oh, so Brent could go?
Yeah.
So they can torch me in the pool as usual.
I don't know if it's one per person in that of a paid membership or what. Like, I'm not sure. I haven't gotten those details yet. But then also, at least for this one, it would be all Snohomish County. But my Jenny said that it could even be Mount Vernon as well. So when the kids are with you.
Now, I don't know if this is cheaper, but another potential summer activity, maybe we encourage the kids to take up smoking. You know?
Wow.
Because you can do it at home. Takes time. It's an outdoor activity.
Okay. So you're already frustrated by how much Bella stays home and is a homebody.
But it gets her outside.
It does get you out of the house.
Yeah, no smoking in my house.
Plus, then all 3 of our kids would look
What?
cool.
Okay, are you high right now? Like, what? Where is this even
He
coming
didn't sleep
from?
very
I'll
much.
just put it out there.
This is so dumb.
Okay. All right. Maybe it's not a good idea.
Well,
You
anyway,
just don't want them looking so cool. And then if they got sunglasses on top of that.
so recently Abby finished volleyball with the Boys and Girls Club.
Yeah.
Because that's another option.
Yeah.
But there isn't one super close to our house. And thankfully, I didn't have to pay for a membership because when you enroll in sports, it like automatically gives you a membership. So,
okay.
But you do pay for the sport, right? I paid $175 for her to do volleyball. So yeah, I am unsure, and I don't know if the YMCA membership allows enrollment in sports automatically. Like, so if there is volleyball with YMCA, would she need to pay, or would it just be included?
Should
in the
encourage
membership?
that Dylan to get a job for the summer.
I tried last
doesn't
time I
want
was
to.
here. I tried real hard.
He doesn't want
We
to.
had like a little bro
Ray was
talk.
talking big about getting a job a few months ago.
So he has it in his head that 1, he knows everything,
Well, sure, yeah.
and 2, it'll be easier to get a job in the fall because everybody's going to be available in the summer. And I'm like, dude, seasonal. It's seasonal stuff, and they're looking for a lot of people, and they're going to cycle through those people.
Yeah.
Like, there's a whole nother aspect to outside of this one conclusion you came to. But I do think it might be nice for him to have one more F off summer.
Also,
Like,
the need to, eventually the need to buy things, pay for things, go out on dates. That all drives the
Right.
need for a job.
right.
Well, I'm wondering, if you're listening out there, boost in with what your summer routine shifts look like. Do you have to make a big change? Would something like a YMCA membership fit in with what your schedule is like? I'm wondering, too. It's just going to be... It's going to be a transition. So, like, even if at first they say they don't like it, you give them a week or two. Maybe it's something they start enjoying too. It's tough to say.
Yeah, Bella can't swim without me there until she turns 12.
Oh.
So that's one.
That stinks because A,
Drawback.
her 2 siblings are there, and B, she can swim fine.
Yeah, well, I don't know that Dylan will go the same time as the girls, but the girls will definitely go together. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he'll be with his homies.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Hanging with the dudes.
Did either of you do this style of activity when you were younger, doing the summer thing?
Not at all. I lived at the end of a road out here in the boonies. You were closer to town, but also not. No.
Yeah. Until high school, middle school, I lived on a lake, so I was out
Yeah.
all day.
Lucky.
Catching frogs?
I mean, I didn't go inside all day. It was crazy. And man, I got so tan. It was great.
You
Yeah.
just seem to burn from what
Well, I
I can
used to
tell.
tan.
Yeah.
I wore in Dylan. I used to tan like he does. I never wore sunscreen when I was a kid, and I was out in the summer sun all day. But then when I moved in with my dad in high school years, there wasn't really anybody around. It's kind of out there.
Yeah. And then we adulted.
Pretty quickly. So let us know your summer routine structure and your thoughts on the YMCA membership, exclusive club membership. Well, today we have for you a tale of scope creep, getting a little Jeff, and trying to restore another man's farm.
The RV's parked, the engine's off. Chris is soaking in the view. An old farm rests, bunnies dart. A sky of endless blue. Old truck stands still in shades of rust. This place has got him hooked. But there's a hitch, no water, power, or a place for tanks to be dumped. This perfect spot, this rural dream is missing every taste. Oh, Chris is in love with another man's farm. It's true, it's plain.
So we set out yesterday thinking, we'll have this wrapped up probably just by a late lunch. Shouldn't be too hard. We know everything we need to do. We've already got it figured out the night before. We had a goal to take this spot that's out at a family farm that's perfect for parking an RV, kind of on an overlook that overlooks a pond and a wildlife preserve. But
Nice.
there's no services. There's no power. There's no water. There's nothing out there. I used to stand and think, boy, this sure would be a great spot to park an RV if you could actually get power out here. But it seemed impossible because it's 300 feet plus away from any source of power. But where there's a will,
There's a Jeff.
there's a way. Well, we could have used a Jeff. I'll say that. We could have used... Things may have gone a little faster had we had producer Jeff with us. We were thankfully given a little bit of an assist. The folks that run the farm, they set up about a 250 plus foot run of what they call, spaghetti cable? What they call spaghetti cable that runs from an old milk house that has like a power hookup all the way out to the spot. Like nearly 300 feet of cable they ran. It's really ridiculous.
Wow.
Every 50 feet it connects together, this spaghetti cable connects together with these NEMA connectors that lock in. And then it comes down to what they call a spider box.
They got these funny names for every device.
Yeah, and then the spider box you hook up the spaghetti cable to, and the spider box distributes power. And so then it was a matter of, we thought, we'll just hook up a few things, we'll set up a little RV pole, we'll be good to go. But first thing we had to do, Brentley, was we had to undo the work that had been done before we got there because, I mean, they're not electricians, neither are we, but they just didn't know what connectors needed to go on what ends.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, most of your like extension cords, you plug one end into the wall and the power comes from there and it comes out the other end to like the female section. Well, they put this extension cord, which is like 300 feet long, the wrong direction.
No.
So we had the like female section in the wrong place in the male section.
Oh, my gosh.
So
300 feet of it.
Yeah, they were saying, just power it. But then you end up with these metal prongs sticking out of the wire that have live power to
And
them, which
doesn't
is
connect
extremely
anything.
dangerous.
Wow.
I think those are called, Jeff, suicide cables from what I know from my backyard mechanics and electricians. So we decided to try to do it right. But then that meant having to change the end on that thing.
Disassembling the plug, taking the wires out, getting the right, which meant like part runs, and then sometimes finding the wrong one, and like we wired up the wrong connector the first time.
Yeah, because we spent, 20 minutes trying to design, like, okay, which end do we actually want to put here? Well, maybe we could do this directly. Oh, no, maybe we want, like, different options. Oh, what about this spider box? And so we came up with, like, so many different permutations of what we could do.
Yeah.
And we did get into it and started putting ends on and realized, we did plan B when we meant to do plan Q.
Yeah, basically. We had this goal at the end of the day, which we thought would be lunchtime, to go grab Brent's van and drive it over to this spot and hook up the shore power and see if it works. Right? That's the ultimate test.
Use his van as the test and not the RV.
If it burns down, no problem, right?
Well, we did use a meter first to stick it in there and make sure that we had the right voltage.
And it didn't blow the meter.
Right,
so.
yeah. The meter looked okay. So we thought, okay, that should be no problem. So 4 o'clock rolls around and we're kind of like, we're kind of running a little long here. And then 6 o'clock rolls around. And we're like, okay, we're gonna stop for dinner. So we stop for dinner. We go pick up my wife, Hadia. And we eat, and then we come back to the farm. And we figure, this will be about another 20 minutes. And we started talking like we could even work on a few other things. If we have some energy, we could knock a few other things out tonight. So we get there, 7 o'clock. Sun doesn't set till 9:30, and we start working. And one thing after another keeps going, and it just keeps going. And as the sun is beginning to set, we're getting really close. And Brent says, "I think it's time to go grab the van. Let's go grab the van." Which this is a moment, right? Because we've been working at this since the morning with the entire implicit goal to get the van over there and plug it in. And Brent says, now's the moment to go get the van.
I saw your eyes light up in a way I had never seen before.
We're there!
Because you were like, this cable stuff is so boring and like, it's taking forever and the sun's almost down. And then I was like, just came by to where you were sitting and suggested maybe it's van time, and you just brightened right up. It was amazing to watch.
The skeeters were out too. We were getting bit.
I bet.
Oh,
they
skeeters.
like you.
Oh, and they love his headlamp. Let me tell you.
Hey, it's useful in other ways.
So we stroll over to where the van's parked, and it's I don't know the way you could visualize. If you've ever seen cows where they stick their head through the gate and then they're eating out of a trough, they're eating hay out of a trough. Mm-hmm. Well, the area where the cows stand in is a big area where a van is parked right now because there's no cows anymore. It's a retired farm, and it's a covered area that we could park the van. And so it's a cow feeding area. I don't know what its technical name is, but because of this, there's lots of metal poles and connectors and things to mount and all this stuff that was there for the farm. So we have to be really careful when we're driving the van around because there's all this stuff just sticking out and whatnot. Mm. So I jump in the van and I put it in reverse and Brent's spotting and we go real slow and we can't quite fit because it's a long van, it's a tight space. So we're like, okay, we need to crank harder. We go for another pass at it, put her in the reverse. I start backing up, and I hear, "Conk!" And then Brent says, "Stop."
Oh, my God.
And what I had done is I had driven the back bumper over this piece of metal, like this metal that was just sticking up iron or something.
Okay, because this is at dark.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. And rusted.
We knew this was here.
We knew it was there.
Yeah.
So we but it's dark, it's rusted. And so the van is now trapped because the bumper has popped over this piece of thick metal sticking up. As thick as a really, really thick frying pan or something. There's stuff we could kind of bend it a little bit, but it took everything.
You put all your weight on it.
Yeah, I was jumping on it, trying to bend it down so then we could pull the van forward and just drive over it. Because if we didn't do anything, when I went to drive forward, it would possibly rip the bumper off. I mean, it was sticking up between the bumper and the van.
Yeah.
And so we're sitting there and we're running out of daylight. All we want to do is go plug in this power. We've been here all day, and now the van is stuck. And
is it stuck outside where you can still?
Yeah,
oh
yeah.
My gosh!
It's stuck between a wall and this metal piece that we've now popped the van over that was just sticking up out of the ground. And so we kind of start kicking around some really dumb ideas, like how are we going to solve this? And Brent comes up with a doozy of a stupid idea.
Wait,
I warned you before mentioning it.
Do you dig out the metal?
I think it goes down pretty deep into cement.
I would imagine so.
Yeah,
okay, so do you jack up the van and then roll forward?
Yeah, nailed it.
So he's got what they call, a farm jack? Mm-hmm. And these are real dangerous.
Oh, yeah.
This came with the van and specifically built as the primary jack for the van, so it's not that crazy.
Did you break the jack?
No, thankfully, but you can have it pop you in the face real bad.
Oh yeah. Stand back.
But in this older van, the bumper is on the frame, so you can actually jack this thing with the bumper, which you can't do with modern cars. You'll rip your bumper off. But with the van built to be jacked from the bumper,
right?
So Brent starts jacking this farm thing and just getting the thing up a little bit higher and a little bit higher and a little bit higher. We're trying not to take the tire off the ground because we don't want some big ka-junk and then have me slam into the wall in front of us, because we've got 2 feet before I'm slamming into the wall.
Or rip off the bumper.
Yeah.
That too.
So then the other thing, this was really the brilliant stroke, is when Brent's like, what we need to do is just slide a long board in here. So when the van comes falling down off the jack, instead of landing on the metal peg, it lands on the board, and then it just rides it like a surfboard off the metal peg.
Oh, my gosh. Okay, so was the metal pole off to one side?
Yeah.
Not centered? Because I imagined it centered for some reason.
It was off to the driver's side.
Okay.
Yeah, it was the corner driver's
side.
I see,
yeah.
So
man.
That's exactly what we did. We jacked her up. We put the piece of board underneath it, and then I very slowly put it into drive, took my foot off the brake, came off the jack, onto the wood, and then rode it like a skateboard down.
Nice.
Yeah, and it worked.
Wow. So the whole van was tilt?
Just a little bit.
Yeah.
Just enough. Just enough to get over it.
Wow.
Yeah, it was just an example of the many side quests we had to take that day. And through the whole process, we discovered things, some things weren't properly installed. One of the plugs had water damage and corrosion that we wouldn't have known unless we'd had to take it apart. We also discovered one of the connectors that was originally from my RV, built by the factory,
which you used for years,
didn't properly tighten down all the wires. So when we opened it up, the common wire just fell out. Just fell out of the plug. And that used to be where 50 amps of power went through to power my whole rig before I upgraded the power system. So we just kept discovering ridiculous thing after a ridiculous thing. And I think at some point it was is this ever going to work? So when we finally got everything out, everything connected, the spider box powered, and we pulled, and when we checked it, was 122 volts.
Yeah, so part of our worry in this whole system was to have a big voltage loss over those 300 feet, because these are old cables that we're reusing that are probably 20, 30 years old.
And some of the connections might be rusted.
Mm-hmm. And we were really worried about voltage loss, but we were only losing about 2 volts on each pole. It's a 240 line that we ran for your RV, and losing 2 volts is actually pretty respectable for considering the kind of jank we're running here.
Yeah. Now, here's the thing I worry about, is then when we fired up Brent's air conditioner, it did drop down to 119 volts.
It did.
And 120 spec. And so I'm wondering, when I put my rig out there with 2 air conditioning units, does it drop down to 115 volts? Mm-hmm. And then if we turn the microwave on, does it drop down to 110 volts?
Well, and there's a danger when the voltage goes down, right, Chris?
Yeah. I'm worried about that, but mostly, I guess I'm the part I want to understand is it because of the length of this line that it's more likely we're going to have voltage drop, or is it just how this works? That's the bit, right? I know it's bad for the equipment to be undervolted, and that's a whole other concern. But is it just natural? Even if I
drive the van to the 300 feet away?
That's the very reasonable thing to do.
That
yes,
is a great question.
That's a very, very reasonable thing to do.
Yeah, we could. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. But I think part of what the van is representing here is a testing of what Chris is hoping is a full-time situation for Jupes
Possibly,
out there.
yeah, maybe.
So I think, the van didn't explode. That's great.
That is good.
But we are seeing a little bit of drop there.
Yeah.
So we, I don't know, need to be careful, or maybe this won't work. Someone
I don't know. Maybe it won't work. One air conditioner and 119 volts, I'm not worried.
And my air conditioner is about 900 watts or so. It's not huge.
Oh, and mine's about 1,400, 1,300.
Yeah. You do have this cool device that you thought would solve this problem, right? Can you describe that thing a little bit?
Oh, you're talking about the autoformer.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, well, my autoformer's died, but there is a Hughes autoformer that will boost voltage. That's a pretty cool product, but it's pretty hard to get your hands on these days. It's tougher. So future projects that I think we'll do is perhaps run conduit for some of this wire and get it underground in certain spots. Maybe a circuit breaker out at the RV spot, so we don't have to walk 300, 400 feet back to turn on and off a circuit. Yeah. We have to signal to each other from far away where we can't see each other that, okay, the breaker's on or the breaker's off.
Wait, you have walkie-talkies also.
I should have brought
something
those.
for the kids to do for the summer.
Well, the walkie-talkie is Chris walking 300 feet and then trying to talk to me.
And then I just go, caw, and you can hear that usually.
Oh, come on, the Star Trek whistle.
You think you'd hear that, Brent?
Nope.
No? Okay. So but project done. Project's done. I mean, there's more things to do with it, but it worked. We got it done. It took an entire flipping day.
I'll tell you in a bit, because the day before we put on one of the ends, right? Hadia got to learn how
Oh, dang it. I forgot about that.
Yeah, I know. You're forgetting already.
Oh, that's painful.
We also discovered, we solved one thing, and because we got to plug the van in, discovered another thing, which is that the DC system in the van, which previously when we did this was showing 18 volts, which is quite wrong, is now showing ever so slightly above zero, like 100 millivolts. And it's supposed to be sending out, 12 to 14 charging batteries and stuff. So the van might be slightly broken, only in the DC side of things. And so
this is our life. You get one thing working and it exposes something else is broken.
Does that mean accessories only, or does that mean functional van problem?
This is on the house side of things. So like the vehicle itself is
I
completely
love that.
fine. Yeah.
The house side of things. Got it.
And we did that deliberately last time we were poking away at the electrical system in here. We decided to separate the vehicle side from the house side because,
logical.
It's an old thing and needs a little bit of troubleshooting. And that's sort of when we decided that there was some weird stuff going on. And so this is a new piece of information. I think we are using a different VU meter. What's it called, Chris?
Voltage meter.
Yeah.
Oh.
He calls it a VU meter for some reason, which is totally from his audio.
Because it's funny. Funny.
So instead of using like a very cheap Fred Meyer's like $4 voltage tester,
we're using a better one now.
We're using a respectable one. So maybe we're just getting different readings than we were previously. But as it goes, we solve one problem and we discover more. So the list is ever growing.
Just a couple of quick hits. We also fixed a head gasket leak in Dylan's new Jeep. At least we think we fixed it, which is a big one.
Yeah.
And we also discovered while testing the head gasket leak fix that his back rear driver's side is completely locked up.
The brakes.
Brakes totally locked up.
It's a nice smell, that one.
So that one's a little dangerous. So we're going to work on that next. That's one thing after another.
We also discovered another thing. It started raining in the Jeep.
Yeah, there's a leak.
Do you need it? Yeah. Do you have a tarp on it now?
Well, it's we parked undercover. We're keeping in the same cow area. It's very useful, very handy. Turns out
you should get some reflective tape on some of these.
Leaks.
Metal. No, the metal. The different things that you can put a bumper over.
Oh gosh,
you're right. So we can see it, little reflectors.
Yeah.
We also did, I think, discover two other things. Your diesel heater, which you were having issues with.
You stop it. Why do you keep bringing all this up?
There's a little fuel filter that was cracked.
Yeah.
So I think that's an easy fix.
Cracked fuel
we should be
filter,
getting a new one today or something. And I discovered one more thing that I don't think I told you yet.
Uh-oh.
Well, there's 3 dots there.
Oh, no. What is it?
The more we work on these things, the longer my mullet seems to be getting back here. I don't know if I want to keep going.
I like where this is going.
Brent needs to go home, is what he's saying.
No.
Brett mode.
This is how he turns into full Brett. Brett Johnson, American passionate. What, car mechanic? What do you think Brett's day job is?
Who needs a day job?
Yeah, you're right. He doesn't have a day job. Day job is drinking.
I don't understand what the heck is going on here.
All right, so let us know how your projects have been going. You got any summer projects cooking up? Tell us about it. Now, it's time to get to the music. Now, if you want to call in, now would be the time to do it as I kick off our song of the week. It's something I think that just came out in the last couple of days, like I want to say June 7th, I think. And it is Elvis Instrumental by Roscoe Beats.
Beats by Roscoe.
And now, as the French say, it is time for le boost.
And we do have a nice handful of boosts. Our baller booster this week is Mr. Turd Ferguson, and he's coming in with 68,333 sats.
Boy, they are doing a lot with mayo these days.
I hope to catch my first live stream of the lunch this week. I know Chris is a Star Trek fan. Has Brent and Angela seen all of the Star Trek movies?
Well, I can't even enumerate them all, so I think that means that no. But I will say, you got me pretty excited last time I was here. You showed me a little scene from one of them where they were docking very slowly into one of the bays, and you were like, look at the graphics in this, and it wasn't even one of the modern movies at all.
That's probably the motion picture.
Oh, man, I kind of got the itch. So I think you need to, I don't know, make a appropriate sequence for those of us who haven't seen all the movies. Like, which order should we watch these?
Well, in order.
Oh.
To Be a Baby Again and Never have seen them. And I know you've seen some of them.
A lot.
Have you seen all of them?
Well, okay. Well, I was just talking about Star Trek in general because you watched so much while we were together. But I have seen, I think, 1, 2, and 3.
Oh, you watch them in order.
Yeah.
Nice. That's the way to do it. And then you also have the new ones, the JJ ones.
Oh, okay. Yes. I watched, which one? I just watched one and I had seen the previous one too. So I was like, oh, I know this scene where, I can't do spoilers because, yeah.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
And you guys need to not do spoilers.
I think I know what you're talking about, though, the Wrath of Khan stuff.
There's also Session 36. We watched that recently.
Section, and it's not even, don't even. It's not. Okay, my morning cold shower life hack only created a grumpy, hypothermic me. Got me wondering, what are your biggest life hack fails?
Oh, turd.
Oh.
What are your biggest life hack fails?
Turd Ferguson.
I was just looking at Andrew Huberman's sleep protocol. A couple of these stuck out at me of life hack failures. One was get outdoor light 30 minutes after waking up. And the other was delay your coffee or caffeine intake for 90 minutes.
Why?
Because you want to give your brain the ability to clear some of the adenosine or whatever it is. And I guess caffeine prevents that process. So if you wait 90 minutes, it clears out some of that. And then you have a better, more alert effect from the caffeine. I find all this to be crap. Cold showers don't help me. Walk in the morning doesn't help me. Waiting to drink my caffeine just means I'm miserable for longer. All this stuff just makes me worse. I hate all of it, The one thing I'm going to try maybe tonight, again, I haven't done it for a while, is a solid hour before bed, maybe no TV or anything like that.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's one of your routines, though.
Do you have any life hacks?
Yeah, I know. I was going to say maybe I will think of some and bring them to the next show, but I thought of one. So I have been iron deficient anemic, I guess maybe my whole life, but maybe pregnancy of Dylan really made it a problem. My body wasn't storing iron. My ferritin was down to 3, and it should be around 100, or at least minimum 80. And I tried everything to fix it with diet. Everything. I know all about tannins and oxalates, and obviously calcium, and then what helps absorb iron, what prioritizes iron. I felt so guilty having a cheeseburger with cheese on it because the calcium was going to block, I know so much about how diet should increase my iron. Didn't do crap. It didn't do crap, and I was crashing hard. I was not able to life. I finally did have to get an iron infusion.
Wow.
And then it was only once I got the iron infusion that I found an iron supplement that worked for me, right? Because I did also try a variety of iron supplements. And anyway, so that I tried for way too long to do it naturally without interventions, and of course, I had an allergic reaction to the iron IV liquids, which is expected. They anticipate it, so I pre-medded and they gave me steroids, and I still had an allergic reaction. So hopefully, I don't ever have to do that again. But that was a total fail. I should have given up way sooner with no results and gotten relief sooner.
Live and learn. What about you, Brentley? You have any life hack fails?
I couldn't think of one right away, so I asked, our dear friend Perplexity to come up with a list of 50. So I'll read, I think, the first couple because it turns out I have failed them.
All right, give me a couple.
Okay, number one here is about morning and wake up, which I think you like. Place your alarm clock across the room to force yourself out of bed. Have either of you tried this?
No.
I don't have that problem.
Okay, I tried this in college.
Yeah.
Because, I couldn't really make my classes in time, it seemed. And so I decided in my little dorm room to put my alarm clock way at the opposite end. And all that happened was that my body learned to get up and hit the alarm clock and go back to bed without me being conscious of it.
You should have done the Michael Scott making bacon.
So that didn't solve anything for me. So I think that's considered a fail.
Yeah.
Number 2 here, it says, start your day with a big glass of water.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're dehydrated.
That just give me a tummy ache, actually.
Right?
Yeah.
It would. No, thank you.
Another one here that I've been trying for absolute years and fail consistently at. Chris, you can definitely approve of this one, of me failing. Go to bed and wake up at the same time every day, even on weekends.
Yeah, right.
We are all over the place. I don't know if we make each other worse or something, but man.
Yeah. Well, it's more driven by the job of the day, really.
Yeah, and how late...
and how late we go. Yeah, trying to get things, how long we take trying to get things working.
Hey, how long have you guys been sleeping together?
Only once in a band.
Hey, good news. We have a caller coming in. A caller from Illinois, I believe. Let's see. I'm going to bring him in because the caller ID is wonky, so we'll just ask him. Hello, caller. Are you there? Caller?
I am.
Hello. Who we got?
You got Adversary 17.
Yeah.
Hello, Mr. Adversaries. How are you doing? Thank you for calling. Do you have any life hacks that have completely failed you, just while we're on the topic?
I do. I've tried put the alarm clock across the room. I had the same experience, Brent.
No way.
I mean, Brent.
Yeah, I was.
Nailed it.
That's funny.
Yeah, I would just get up and then shut it off and go right back to bed. And then I also tried have to do math to shut the alarm clock off.
Oh.
That one just made me so pissed off that I stopped doing it.
Yeah, right.
And then I just have been using a normal alarm clock since, but yeah.
Well, you also just sent us a live boost, so thank you for that. I just saw that come in as I was answering the phone. How about that? On the phone and a live boost from Adversary 17 with 15,000 amazing sats.
I hoard that which your kind covet.
Thank you, sir. What are you up to today? Are you just calling in, or did you call in with a goal in mind?
I'm just calling in.
I like that.
I've been told to call the lunch every week or so now on Linux.
Do you have a lunch order?
Like that.
Yeah, on Unplugged.
Oh, nailed it.
All right, you want? We have a mac and cheese special this week. I don't know if you're interested, but
Oh, mac and cheese special, huh?
yeah.
What do we got on this mac and cheese special?
Put some macaroni and cheese on there, too.
I think it's like meat with macaroni and cheese on it. I'm not sure. It's something Brett came up with.
Any pickles?
It's a Brett special. Pickles. Okay.
Mayonnaise?
Okay, I could do pickles.
There is a place somewhere where you can make your mac and cheese. You do the nudes, and then you do the cheese sauce, and then toppings.
Anything you want?
Yeah, all the toppings.
Huh.
Yeah, I want that.
I'd do pulled pork and garlic. That's
I think I do. Nudes and
Sounds good. I'm hungry.
gotta go.
Adversaries, thank you for calling in. It's nice to chat with you.
Likewise, and feel free to put me on the randomly call list.
You got it.
Plan on doing
Ooh.
We
Nice.
will. Yeah, we still do. We still do plan on it. Just got to get our S together. And thank you for all the support, too. Really appreciate that as well. You, sir, are a good guy. Appreciate you.
that. He's a good guy.
Yeah, he's a real good guy.
He's a good guy.
He's a real good guy.
No, you're a great guy.
All right. We'll talk to you later. Thank you for calling.
See you guys.
All right. That was the in the flesh, well, at least in the voice, Adversary 17. Bob the Hutt came in with 4,000 sats.
BOOST.
No message, though, but that's okay because Bobby Pin was here with 2,000 sats and sending some value to our artist, the song of the week last week, saying the song is awesome. I heard it here on the launch. How about that? Isn't that nice? I love when people support the song, and they love it too. I hear from them. I get notes from them, and it makes their day. Mount B Dude? What do you think, Brent? Mount Badude?
Mountain bike dude?
Mount Badude.
I think it's MTB like mountain biking.
That's Mountain Bike Dude 641.
You're doing a good job.
Is there a way I could download all the episodes from the member feed without selecting each one individually? All RSS downloaders I have found seem to work with either regular feeds but not premium feeds. Oh, so you're looking for an app that supports downloading all of the episodes but also supports private feeds.
It's a perfect opportunity for a little vibe code journey, I think.
Oh.
Do a little Python, get it to scrape the feed, and do a bunch of downloading.
That is how I would probably go about it, too, is I don't think I would try to do it with an existing client. It'd probably be more like a script.
Yeah, might be Westbot approved, too.
Joe, let us know how you solve that if you do find an app. I was going to suggest Gpotter, but I'm not positive it does private RSS feeds. That's the tricky one. Well, there you go. When you include the live boost we got from Mr. Adversaries 17, that brings our total to, we had, let's start with the streamers. We had 10 folks stream, 11,495 sats. I mean, that's not blow away. That's not blow away, but I appreciate the 10 of you streaming sats as you listen. You combine that with our boosters. This episode stacked a humble but appreciative 105,828 sats. Fountain FM is probably the easiest way to boost and get your message in. They host the Lightning Wallet. They got a new UI and lots of updates on the way. There's a bunch of apps, though, including fully open source GPL ones at podcastapps.com. You can go over there, you find one, you load it up with some sats, and you send in your message to the show, or you can become a member over at jupiter.party, and then you get the extra bootleg version of the show. That might just be worth doing. Jupiter.party for that. All right, we got a voicemail blowout. And we're going to try to get through as many of these as we can today because last week I messed up and I forgot to play them. I got so excited by a live phone call, I totally spazzed out on the voicemails. So we're going to start with Bo in Nashville.
Hey, JV crew, this is Bo. I don't have a cool internet handle. I've tried a bunch of different ones. Nothing ever sticks. I am currently driving to downtown Nashville to start the workday. Thought I'd call in. I've been catching up on episodes of The Launch. It's the hoot of a show. I just wanted to touch on some of the sleep stuff that y'all talked about earlier on, and to give a little bit of perspective on it. I was a primary care physician for a few years. When I was in residency, I took care of veterans, mostly elderly veterans, and I think many people have issues with sleep. You talked about on the show, veterans certainly are no exception to that. And the interventions do depend on the specifics of what's going on. But one thing that I found really instructive and kind of a mind shift is that I found out at some point that this whole thing where, go to bed, sleep 8 hours, get up and go to work, that's really a product of the industrial era. If you look across most societies or most of history, it's kind of taken for granted that people slept in 2 shifts. They call it the first and second sleep. There's some good examples of this, like Shakespeare, for example, where you go sleep for a while, get up, do some stuff, whatever, go milk the cows, go talk to your neighbors, pray. Sex is a common thing during that time, and then go back to bed for a while and then get up and do the rest of your day. So that mind shift for me, finding out that that's probably the normal way humans have slept up until we got light bulbs and factories and things like that, is just helpful to know that it's not abnormal to have that waking period in the early morning. It does make it difficult when you do indeed have to go work 8-hour workday. But yeah, that mind shift is like, hey, this is normal, and I'm normal, and there are definitely pathologic sleep patterns, but that does not appear to be one of them. So there are ways to deal with that, of course, but just knowing that you're not being normal is a nice thing. Anyway, keep up the great show. I'll probably call in with something else at that point.
Thank you, Bo. You got cut off right there at the end. I've heard this before, that like we have polyphasic sleep schedules or whatever they call it. But then I also hear all the time that research routinely shows that 8 hours of sleep is the ideal amount of sleep.
I have been assimilated. I do the 8 hours. I need 8 hours.
Could you imagine?
Well,
like I couldn't.
I get it regularly. So
I mean, I would love to get 8 hours, but I just couldn't imagine waking up in the middle of the night, going about my day for a little bit, and then going back to bed. I feel like I'd have a hard time falling asleep.
Isn't that what you do every night?
Right? I'm like, is that not?
No, I don't fall asleep until 4 a.m.
Oh, right.
Come on, that's what I do.
Yeah.
I just have the whole night. But that's an interesting. I think what I'm taking away from your voicemail, Bo, is everybody has their own sleep. Some of us just don't have any of it.
I think the trick is really having the space and time to experiment a bit. Like most of us don't even have the chance.
Yeah.
Right.
But if you can, and you can find something that's optimum for you, and that might shift throughout your life. But what a gift.
Crashmaster in Connecticut's here.
Hi, Chris and Ange. Hey, this is Crashmaster from Connecticut. Sorry I missed you when you were in Boston, but it sounds like you had a pretty loaded schedule. An idea for your AI music. You on the Bitcoin podcast and on this podcast, you feature an artist for sponsorship, additional sponsorship via Lightning. I wonder if you could do the same thing with your AI music, if that would be worth kind of people voting on the music they like, sponsoring some boosts during the AI music. Just an idea. Like the show a lot. Keep up the great work. Thanks, guys. Bye.
Yeah, so submit the AI songs to the Value for Value verse and then put them on the index and then make them boostable. It crossed my mind for a few minutes, but as somebody who's going through and picking Value for Value tracks for a couple of shows a week, man, is there a lot of AI slop in there. A lot of people are just generating songs and then they're submitting them and then, trying to get people to boost them and stuff like that. And so I don't want to add to the AI slop, but you could boost during the song if you want. I mean, you could still do that.
Right, yeah, it just
goes to us.
Yeah.
But we have been trying to figure out a way to put together like a JB album of some of the best ones.
There's some good ones,
That might be an interesting way to do it. Just to
get them up there and have a way to have them discovered.
And use the 2.0 ecosystem.
All right, we got a voicemail from Kevin, too.
Hey, for the launch, this is Kevin in Raleigh, North Carolina. And you folks were talking about moving. I can give you some perspective. You mentioned the Boston area. I grew up about 40 miles away. The gas might be cheap, the houses not so much. So make sure you look at those things. It's a great area, but there's also serious winter there. Currently in Raleigh, you trade winter for summer. It's hot as hell here in the dead of summer, but it's also not so bad in the winter. Get down to the 20s at night for the worst most of the time, and hardly ever any snow. And houses are a lot cheaper. You should compare the state and local politics anywhere you go. See if they match with you. Enjoying the show? Have a good one. We'll be talking.
Maybe my new strategy, because those are good tips.
Yeah.
I think my new strategy might be to hide on Brent's property up in Canada.
Well, you haven't experienced it yet. I mean, maybe there are cougars and stuff that are going to eat you up there.
That's true. That's true, although we have bears down here.
Well, we have bears too. I will say, when comparing cities, especially if you're thinking of moving or something, our dear friend Alex turned me onto a website, actually, that always comes up in this kind of conversation. Weatherspark.com, and allows you to compare two cities, and it shows you a whole bunch of like weather throughout the historical seasons, gives you averages and stuff, and it overlays them. So if you're trying to compare two cities, it's really neat to look at it that way.
That's a good tip. WeatherSpark. Wes Payne in the live chat has created a Python script to download the members' MP3s, like our booster is asking. He's already on it. Roland in Trinidad was a faux show viewer, and he called in.
Hi, good day. This is Roland, all the way from Trinidad in the Caribbean. I keep on saying I have to call, so listening to the latest episode, I decided, you know what, stuck in traffic a little bit, so maybe call now. I keep on remembering to call in to indicate of when you're speaking about the full show. Ironically enough, I back then wife, at the time now ex-wife, used to watch it, and there was an episode from Halloween that was a bit just borderline PG. It was going across PG, and ironically enough, some comments were made, and that, something will probably happen. And 9 months later, something did. So, yeah, that was one of my
that was the Bella story.
Defining faux show moments.
Wow, that's funny.
I enjoy the shows, especially faux show was one of the shows that we always look forward to. Been a listener since very first Coda Radio and all that.
That's great.
I was glad that the launch came back, I guess. But I've listened to all the shows since then. The Tech News show, I had a short stint. We need back on filter. That's my biggest thing, though. We need back on filter. So I hope you guys have a good day. I hope you enjoyed that little walk down memory lane.
Roland got cut off. But thank you, Roland. It's nice to hear from you after all this time.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So Trinidad. I don't know if it was anyway, short story short, I was dressed as Superwoman. Chris was dressed as Superman. And well before ovulation and after a faux show, we, created Bella, basically. And so for her first Halloween, she was Super Baby. Because my midwife was like, how did that even, I was family planning to not expand the family, right?
Family misplanning.
Super sperm. Anyway, that's the story he was talking about. And that's why he's saying somewhat not PG. I'm not sure how I communicated it back then or if I had wine, but.
Maybe. That always helps.
Right.
That always helps. Producer Jeff came in with a deep philosophical question.
Happy launch, everyone. It's Jeff, California. Just curious. What are some of the things that you're really proud of making? It doesn't have to be tech. It doesn't have to be mechanical. It can be art. And your kids don't count. No copy.
Nice.
And we know about JB. That doesn't count either.
Oh, wow.
Something you're really proud of. I've got a whole bunch. The music I made with my old guitarist many years ago. It's a co-op thing, but very proud of that music that we made. A lot of fun. That's more of an art thing. And every little thing that
I build, whether it's electronics or my very first quadcopter, they all give me such a great rush. They just really hit that dopamine spot. So what do you got? What are some of the things for you?
Oh boy, that's he knew how to make it hard. You notice that? He knew how to make it hard. Because all I do is work on JB and then the kids. That's it. Those are the two things. As well, I suppose in vans now. You got anything, Brent, so I can stall? You got anything?
Yeah, I was hoping you were stalling for me. But I think we've been telling these stories of going on these crazy van adventures and like spending our time. Well, I spent a lot of time under the van with Jeff repairing crazy things. And so it gets me thinking about the reason we even do these projects. Like, we don't have to be doing this, Chris. We're like spending how many hours doing all these little projects? But
Don't make me think about it.
I think there is a pride that goes into each of them because like we're rescuing a thing that it was forgotten and we're building it up to be useful again, and we're generating all these memories out of it. And
true, yeah.
So I think just as a general reflection, I think there's a lot of pride that goes into just the crazy projects that we end up doing together.
Yeah.
Like for me, building stuff with friends is one of the best activities I can possibly put my time towards, even if it seems ridiculous, So I would say just as general pride, those projects all fall under that.
Building with Brent.
There you go.
All right. So I couldn't use my kids, obviously. But I, as a mom, I was a yes mom. So I tried to find a way to say yes to what they wanted to do, make it safer or whatever, just find a way to not say no. But I also did a lot of sensory play with them. Colored rice, colored noodles, Play-Doh, sand, a variety of, we'd go to the dollar store and get a bunch of different things to scoop with and all of that. Every holiday I put out some sort of small sensory on the kitchen table. And they still, at 11, 14, and 16, they still fidget with it. It's hilarious. Wow. They love it. But rocking the mom thing. But also, for a while there, I haven't for a long time, but for a while there, I was painting rocks.
Oh, yeah.
I was painting rocks and I was leaving them.
Those are great.
In parks for kids to find.
Wow.
There's a whole community around this.
The Homer one is hilarious.
I have a natural talent for this.
Rock painting. I think the Homer one is my favorite. And I don't know this guy's name, but that green bird is hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
What's his
Pigeon
name?
Toady.
Pigeon Toady. Okay. Yeah. Those are good. I really, really enjoyed the garden we did a couple of years ago. We had a couple of years of really great garden. Then life got busy and it just became so much work.
It is so much work.
Yeah. But I really enjoyed it while we did it. It was quite nice. And in the evenings, it was a nice way to spend time. We have 1, 2, 3 more voicemails to get to. I think we're going to save them for the next episode. So a guy named Ryan and Bo, stand by. You're going to be in our next episode. But I wanted to slip in some deep, important thoughts by editor Drew. He called in and left us a voicemail.
Hey, guys. I think that the Trojan value pack of condoms is a real missed opportunity. They should have called it the family pack.
Everything of that. He's right. They could have called it the family pack. They could have called it the family pack. I think he nailed it. Maybe you should contact them. Work out a deal, Drew. Maybe get a little money on that. Now, are you up for a little odd news just before we get out of here, Andrews? A couple quick stories for you?
Yes, of course.
All right, here we go. The odd stuff you probably missed this week. Of course, I found it for you.
I actually saw both of these.
Did you?
I did. Yeah.
Yeah, I was going for a pet theme this week. So the first story is a runaway pet zebra has finally been captured in Tennessee. That's right. Someone had a pet zebra, and it wasn't Brent.
A zebra on the loose in Tennessee is finally back home after an escape that had neighbors and deputies doing double takes.
This morning, a zebra on the run and in the air. After more than a week on the loose in Tennessee, Ed the zebra was finally caught.
It is worth the link in the show notes
to
see the zebra in the bag being carried by a helicopter as it spins through the air.
It's like a whole harness.
And then they got a mouth thing on it too, and the zebra just looks defeated.
Totally defeated. Yeah, he's like in a sitting position.
Ed has been causing chaos and confusion in Rutherford County since May 31st.
Oh no!
People spotted the striped escapee trotting through neighborhoods and galloping along the interstate.
I watched the neighbors' children, and they were going wild. They were running. They were fenced in, but otherwise they would have been probably catching the zebra.
But after 8 days on the lam, officials finally managed to catch the elusive equine as he casually grazed in a nearby field. Deputies quickly hoisted Ed into the helicopter harness before
the zebra's name is Ed.
Transporting him to a nearby animal trailer. Ed isn't the only animal making headlines lately.
There was a kangaroo hopping down the road.
In April, a kangaroo in Alabama bounced down a highway, causing a 2-car crash.
Oh, no.
And earlier this year, a baby seal in Connecticut made it all the way to downtown New Haven. As for Ed, his great escape may be over, but his viral fame may just be getting started.
Yeah, that's pretty good. You got to go see Ed through the air.
A couple of years ago, there was a pig loose in Arlington. And there's a dedicated living in Arlington group on Facebook. And everybody was like, just spotted it, like last sighting, blah, blah, blah. Like there were so many posts about this pig. They finally caught it. And then it ended up being an honorary walker in the 4th of July parade.
That's good.
It was, and then somebody from the group adopted the pig.
Wow.
Because, it's so funny.
I love these harmless animal on the loose stories.
Uh-huh.
I mean, a couple car accidents does suck, but
that does.
Nobody got injured or mauled or anything.
Totally worth it.
But this is one I'd never heard. Kangaroo on the loose. Okay, I can picture it. Zebra, I can't quite picture, but I got to believe it. I've seen it. But have you ever seen an elephant on the loose? Because that also happened.
An elephant caused a commotion in a grocery store in Thailand when he strolled in from a nearby national park and brazenly helped himself to some snacks. The shopkeeper could do little but yell as the elephant devoured 9 bags of sweet rice crackers, a sandwich and some bananas. The elephant had been known to enter people's homes in search of food, but this was the first time he'd gone into a store. After about 10 minutes, hastily summoned rangers managed to shoo him safely out of the shop. As farmers push into forests for agriculture, elephants have been forced to venture out of their shrinking habitats in search of food, leading to confrontations that can turn deadly.
Yes.
Fortunately, this elephant left little damage behind, apart from some untidy shelves and an unpaid bill.
Oh. So to put it in perspective, so you have a visualization of this, the elephant
is huge.
Is so huge that the back of the elephant is up against the ceiling.
Yeah. I saw just a screenshot. I didn't see any video. I didn't really care to watch the video. But I was like, is that photoshopped?
Yeah.
Because it is so huge in this small shop.
His dirty back is getting the ceiling dirty.
Yeah.
And so he's walking around eating rice cakes, and then they finally shoo him out. And that elephant is known for breaking into other people's homes and eating their snacks.
Right? That's so scary. So there's
Could you imagine that?
There's one video that I regret ever watching. And I have seen so many horror movies, and just ridiculous things. But I saw a YouTube clip of an elephant attacking a dude and just breaking every bone in his body. And
What?
Yeah.
An elephant?
Yeah. And
I thought they're sweet, gentle creatures that remember things forever.
No, this one was pissed and obviously he killed this dude. I just wish I could unsee it.
Oh my God! Did he use his mouth? Did he eat on him, or does it just smash it on him, stomping on him?
He was with his trunk.
Trunk bashing him?
Yeah. No, grabbed onto him and then just started. Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Trunk whipping?
Yeah, whipping.
Oh my God!
It was bad.
You got any wild animal stories up in your neck of the woods, Brent?
Well, I guess I should introduce you to some since you'll be visiting soon. There's in downtown Cranbrook, where I am, there is a statue of an elephant because way back in 1926, there was a stampede. The Cranbrook elephant stampede.
An elephant stampede?
Oh my gosh.
More than one.
Front porches and scared the populace silly.
The story of one lady who got chased up an apple tree, and she was throwing apples farther and farther away to get the elephants away from the apple tree.
11 of the 14 elephants were rounded up within the first day or so. But the final 3, Charlie Ed, Myrtle, and Tilly, disappeared into the hills.
The local train dispatcher sent out a telegram.
And this is the original from 1926.
Keep lookout for elephant on track. The dispatchers who received it were a tad skeptical.
They weren't sure if it was a ruse
prank?
or not.
Is this a prank telegram?
Am I being punked?
Yeah. Wow, you have different problems up there in Canada. Like, a zebra is one thing, but a whole, flock of elephants or whatever they call it?
Well, what hits me, I guess, is this has been going on for a long time. None of these are endemic to North America at all, and yet they're just out there.
Yeah, well, I mean, if you got pet elephants and pet zebras, it's going to happen. I don't know. I wonder. I bet someone out there in the audience has a really weird pet by most people's standards.
Ooh.
I would love to know if they do.
Mm-hmm.
All right, that's it for us. Links for the things that we talk about, like Ed flying through the air, that's at weeklylaunch.rocks. You can always join us on a Tuesday for the live show or catch the release Wednesday in your podcast app of choice. And of course, JupiterBroadcasting.com has other great shows for you. Now, that's it from us. So, from the beautiful Pacific Northwest and the mighty American West Coast, thank you for listening to The Launch, and we will see you right back here next week.